not going to hold you guys up. I'm going to take a sip of my brew. And let's go ahead and get into the first. I was going to say let's get into the first episode. But, let's get into the first article, guys. So, let's see here. So the first article says Disney expands lawsuit against DeSantis after governor signs bill to void land deals. As we know, they were fighting over land or property around the area of Disney, I believe. DeSantis even was at one point, threatening to, open up a theme park next to them. I think he said, too, that he would consider opening up a prison next to them, which, you're not going to want a prison next to Disneyland or Disney World. I'm not sure which one is in Florida. But let's see here. Now it says Disney, as we all know, this is DeSantis, by the way. He's looking kind of sad. He's looking kind of hurt here. It looks like he's about to cry, honestly. Like, somebody get that man a tissue. Now, Disney on Monday expanded its federal lawsuit against Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, accusing the Republican leader of doubling down on his retribution campaign against the company by signing legislation to void Disney's development deals in Orlando. As you guys know, Disney will continue probably to just expand as much as they can. They only get bigger and bigger. They essentially own the state of Florida and Orlando, and everything like that. So we already know Disney is definitely always looking for expansion. They also have a lot more money on the table now too, because as you know, Disney released a large part of their workforce. So they got a little bit of liquidity because of that. Now, it says Disney's amended lawsuit also noted that Florida's Republican-led legislature passed legislation, last week, targeting Walt Disney World's Montreal system. Governor DeSantis and his allies have no apparent intent to moderate their regulatory campaign anytime soon, Disney wrote in its additions to the civil complaint it filed with the U.S. District Court in Tallahassee in April. Of course, as we know, DeSantis's office was not going to respond for comment. I don't know why CNBC News always says that. Like we always expect that because somebody comes out and says something bad that the person is going to just come out and instantly refute it. I never get that. But it says Disney alleges that DeSantis began a war of retaliation against the company in 2022 after it publicly criticized the controversial Florida bill dubbed Don't Say, G by critics that limits the discussion of, sexual orientation and gender identity in classrooms. Now, let me know, too, how you guys feel about this whole thing. I kind of feel like sexual orientation and gender identity isn't really something that should be spoken about in the classrooms. I feel like kind of what you do, what you do in your bed is kind of something that you don't really need to or speak to anyone else about, especially children. So I don't really see that. I understand the importance of teaching children like safe sex and everything like that. But outside of that, what people want to do specifically in the bedroom and how they interact with each other, I don't see how that really has any merit. Now, I would say if you have a kid who maybe wants to transition or, he comes to you and he says something like that, I feel like you should handle that and obviously not push it on them. But I feel like you should handle that in, a professional manner, tell them it's okay, to be who they want to be and everything like that. But I don't think that this is anything that should be pushed in any type of way in schools, especially since it's dealing with youth. And I don't think that it should really be discussed at all. Now, let's continue. Now, it says the governor and his allies targeted Disney's special tax district, formerly called the Reedy Creek Improvement District, which has allowed the entertainment giant to effectively self-govern its Orlando parks operations for decades. So essentially, Disney gets to make its own rules for places where on its land, essentially. Which you guys know is weird for any business. No business just because, like let's say your business is in Atlanta. You don't get to change Atlanta policies for all the businesses around in that land, simply to, promote your efforts. Now, you may lobby, and everything like that, but Disney actually genuinely controls kind of the law of the land, I guess you could say. Now it says this drawn-out feud spilled into the courts after the district's new board of supervisors, which had been handpicked by DeSantis, voted to nullify development deals that Disney struck shortly before they replaced the old board. Excuse me, guys. No, it's one of those days. Now, it says the governor's board members claimed the deals were unlawfully passed and other cut their power over the 25,000 acre area. But Disney says the contracts were crafted to help lock in its long-term development plans amid escalating tension with DeSantis and his allies. So Disney basically got to the cheese earlier. I mean, I don't know. That's not really a quote or anything, but you know what I'm saying? They got to the money first. They knew DeSantis was coming in. They already knew that they would probably deal with some type of pressure. I don't think they thought that this entire war would necessarily end up playing out. I don't think they predicted it to get this ugly. I don't think any of us predicted it to get this ugly. I mean, at this point, Ron DeSantis is being attacked by even Republicans that are just like, what are you doing? You know, and everything like that. Now it says on Friday, the final day of the state's 2022 legislative session, DeSantis signed a bill that included language effectively targeting Disney's development contracts. It precludes an independent special district from complying with any terms of a development argument that is struck within 3 months before a law modifying the manner of selecting members of that special district's government body. Essentially, it sounds like what they're trying to say is that it's unlawful to essentially go out and make moves before you know that somebody is about to come in and make laws that would prevent you from making those moves. I would think that just like legally, I would think that, hey, if it was legal for you to do it back then, if things change, whether that be one day, whether that be 1 month, whether that be 3 months, I would assume that you would still have that president and be able to, you know, do what you want to do because it would still be legal. Now, that would be unless there was some type of clause or something, you know, preventing that. Then I would be able to understand that. If not, then I can understand to a degree why Disney would see this as an attack. Now, Republican State Senate, let's try it. Blaze Ignolia, yeah, something like that. Added that the language to kill the bills days after warning Disney, you are not going to win this fight, the governor will. The Democratic members of the legislature have been quick to condemn the battle, and so have some Republicans. The governor's inability to grasp basic economics, coupled with his punitive style, has created a bloated and protracted grudge match, which is being bankrolled by the taxpayers. That's true, because you guys have to realize, too, this is actually the taxes money that DeSantis is using to kind of go at Disney. He's the governor. Where do you guys think his governor and where his money is going? So, you know, that's kind of what they're saying. They're just saying this is just strictly business. Obviously, Disney, just like any business, wants to expand. And obviously, Disney is a special case. They're going to, you know, have certain perks. I mean, if you're pretty much the single, other than, I guess, Miami, you would say Disney is, you know, the single most handedly, I mean, and really Miami probably has nothing on Disney when it comes from a bringing money into Florida kind of economical, how much money they bring in type of standpoint. So you're going to say, obviously, if you have somebody with that type of power or a company with that type of power, obviously there might have to be certain perks or something like that that they may get, which is why they're in a special district, because they're going to have, you know, unique circumstances dealing with consumers coming into the the county and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Disney is going to have a completely different experience and probably need slightly different legislature than most counties would need, you know? Now it says, as the state's executive, and let me know what you guys think about this too. Like, are you guys on Ron DeSantis' side? If you are, let me know. If you're on Disney's side, you know, let me know. Now it says, as the state's executive heading the party, which is historically yielded to free market principles and less regulation, this third legislature effort to endure a private company is anti-ethical to conservative governance. Because, you know, governments, conservatives, you know, is more about promoting the business. It's not about as much of the social issues. It's traditionally more about, you know, promoting growth, promoting finance. And that's, you know, that's the thing that we love about conservatives. Absolutely. So they're kind of saying, I feel like in this point, they're kind of saying, well, the values that you have as a conservative, you're kind of going away from. Yes, Disney may be considered a liberal company, or corporation, but they're still a corporation. So, you know, it's kind of weird to see, you know, a conservative putting more regulation on a corporation, that would be something that you would more expect, especially because of social issues. That would be something that I assume that you would more expect from a Democrat or the Democratic Party, and everything like that. Now it says Pizzo lambasted DeSantis for using the state's revenue on battling iconic brands. Regardless of how many times he shouts, Florida is free, these are the methods of a socialist tyrant, not a Republican wonderkid. Democratic State Senator Linda Stewart, a staunch critic of DeSantis' actions against Disney, called the feud between DeSantis and Disney insane and laid blame on her Republican counterparts. Every day it seems like there's another way they want to try to make things more difficult for Disney, but all they're doing is costing taxpayers money to hire lawyers to go defend what they're doing. So let me know, guys. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys think that DeSantis is essentially like kind of, gotten off of his rocks or whatever you would want to call it a little bit, and that now he's just kind of, gotten into this feud with Disney? He doesn't want to back down, and him being the guy that he is, he's gonna continue to tag Disney in a state that really, let's keep it a stack, probably loves Disney. Disney brings in a lot of money and everything into Florida. So, Florida would not be what it is without Disney. At the same time, I guess you could say that DeSantis is saying, hey, I'm the governor. We want the government of Florida to be governing Florida, not corporations, large corporations to be, necessarily building the policy for Florida. Let me know what you guys think about that. I'm actually pretty interested to see like what side you guys are on, because this is one thing where I would say I'm definitely, I wouldn't say I'm split in the middle. I'm a little bit more on Disney side. I do think DeSantis is kind of acting a little bit irrationally, but I can understand where he's coming from a lot of times. So let me know what you guys think about that. Very interested to hear that. Definitely throw the video a like and everything like that. And comment, help the channel grow. I appreciate all of you guys throwing subscribes. It's been great. I really do appreciate that. But let's go ahead and get into the next topic, guys.